Hello, everyone. This is Lucid Berberi from The Optimizer. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer, and thank you for joining our webinar today. In this webinar, we will go through a step-by-step walkthrough of the platform. Can you hear me? In this webinar, we will go through a step-by-step walkthrough of the platform, where we will go over all the features of the platform, because often we get asked by many users like how to set up with this and how to set up that, which is something that sometimes it may look confusing, but at the same time is pretty straightforward in terms of achieving the desired actions that you want to achieve for your campaigns. So if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments down below. And if you have any specific setup that you would like to achieve at the question and answer session at the end of our demo, make sure to write them down in the comments, and we can go over that together. And regarding native, the interesting thing is that maybe now it's the perfect timing, since most guys are moving from Facebook to native traffic, since there are lots of problems with keeping the other accounts live and making things work on the new rule set that Facebook has launched. So definitely natives is the go-to place for replacing Facebook or any other big player. And since you may have already heard now, Tabuda and Outbrain are merging, so maybe in a year or so we will see a bigger platform with way more traffic than each of them has separately. So if everything is fine, I would like to share my screen with you now. Sorry, I think that there is an issue with the audio. I think it should be now okay. I think it should be okay now. Please let me know if there is audio now. Can you hear me now? All right, thank you, Ilio. So as I was saying, in the graphical interface, you will see how the performance changed from one day to another. You can see the performance by traffic source, so you can focus on the bigger on the main players for your offers. Like if Outbrain is outperforming Tabuda or Rev Content or any other traffic source, then you can focus more on Outbrain. Or if Tabuda is working better than Outbrain or Rev Content or Yahoo Gemini or whatever source you're working with, then you can focus most of your budget on that campaign as well. on that traffic source as well. Then we have the top winning and top losing campaigns, so you can quickly see what is the traffic source, or what is that campaign that is making you money and what is losing you money. And when you first sign up, I will just go briefly into the account wizard. You land into the account wizard process, where you have to add your traffic source and your traffic source and trackers. So you can add pretty much all bigger players like Rev Content, Taboola, Content Ad, MGAD, Outbrain, AdSkipper, Yahoo Gemini, Volume DSP, Run Native, and Active Revenue, which was added recently. So let's say we go over an example of adding a Taboola account. We enter the nickname here. We specify the time zone of our traffic source account. We specify the currency our traffic source account is set up with. We enter the email address and password. Then we enter the client ID and client secret that is provided via your Taboola account manager. Now, I purposely selected Taboola because in the recent changes that Taboola introduced, there is a default limit of 200 sites with changed bids at a time, which means that if you are playing with site level bidding, it means that you cannot have more than 200 sites with custom bids compared to the campaign bid. So basically, that is something that is changeable. So in case you can get your help from your account manager to increase you the limit, so that you can have more sites that you can bid with custom bids other than the campaign bid, the default campaign bid. Then you can increase this limit and move forward with the traffic source integration, or even change it later. So once you save the traffic source, you move to the next step, where you add your tracking platform. And from the tracking platforms, we have Thrive, we have Volume, we have AdsBridge, Binom, Funnelflux, Bmob, RedTrack, Google Analytics, and Kintura. So you can add whatever tracker that you want. And since we are here, Google Analytics can be combined with one of all these other trackers, which means that you can have one campaign being tracked at the same time from Thrive or Volume, let's say, and Google Analytics. So you can get traffic. You can get your campaigns data from 3 points of information. Like you can see the click-based information on your click tracker, like Thrive or Volume, and you can see the average time on page or other statistics that Google Analytics offers from Google Analytics, while still keeping track of the average time on page, which might be important in some campaigns to optimize accordingly. So basically, you enter the let's pick Volume here, or which is more commonly used. So you enter the account name, access key ID, and access key. Then specify the conversion timestamp as it is on your tracker, and move forward with any custom domains that you may be using on your campaigns. Once you click save, you move to the next step, and you tell the system which traffic source which is the traffic source configuration found in your tracker that is related to the traffic source account that you connected on your first step here. Quite often, it may happen that you have only one Taboola account or one Outbrain account, but it may not be unusual to have more than one traffic source account for different purposes. So basically, you tell the system which account belongs to which configuration on your tracker. Once you click finish, you get it takes up to 10 or 15 minutes to get the campaigns pulled in our system. And in the meantime, you can watch any instructional videos that are included in this end up page, or you can see our knowledge base to get to understand the platform, how it works. Now we have already the data for these campaigns. So we're moving to the campaigns page, where we will see all the statistics of our campaigns. Where we will see all the statistics of our campaigns, like clicks on the traffic source, different average CPC, cost, and tracker, and stuff like that. So here you have a few quick manual actions, like starting or pausing a campaign, cloning a campaign, like basically creating a duplicate campaign from your original one. You can edit your current campaign settings. You get reported by the campaign ID as reported by Taboola. You get the campaign name. And here we get these small icons, which tells us that this is a blacklist campaign, or if it's W, it means that this is a whitelist campaign. Here we have, it tells us that we have rules, and it will show us the rules that we have applied on this campaign when we hover over it, as well as the status by the traffic source. If you notice here, we have some blue underlined fields, which means that you can edit these fields. You can either change the budgets by, let's say we change the budget here from 6,000 to 5,000. Then click the down arrow of your keyboard. Then move to the next campaign. Maybe we want to scale this other campaign, and we're setting the budget to $5,000 from 4,000, as well as the other campaigns. Or we can change the daily budget pretty quickly. Like if we have a campaign which is promising and is working good, and we happen to be in front of our dashboard at the moment. Let's say we want to rise this campaign budget by 50%, and all we do is set the daily budget limit to $300 and click and press enter. Same goes for the CPC, and you can do the same change. And then you get an average CPC calculated on the optimizer. You get the cost as pulled by the traffic source. You get the conversions as pulled by the tracker. You get the tracker revenue. You get the tracker net profit, which is calculated based on the real cost of your campaigns. So instead of updating the cost on your tracker for the next day manually, all you need to do is just to get in the optimizer's dashboard, and you can see how your performance is going. Here you see the ROI, and for Taboola and Outbrain, which are known for some delays, we have some estimated cost, net profit, and ROI. We have the EPC, which is the earnings per click, which is calculated based on tracker revenue and clicks on the traffic source, to avoid any misinterpretation, or better said, any errors when calculating the EPC based on tracker side data, since we're paying on CPC on the traffic source. Then we get the traffic source clicks, we get the tracker clicks, like how many visits have out of these 733 clicks have ended up to our campaign links. We get the CTR on the ad level. We get the click loss, which tells us the difference between the traffic source and the tracker. We get the traffic source revenue whenever, or net profit and ROI whenever we're posting the revenue back to the traffic source. We get the traffic source cost per acquisition, earnings per click, conversion rate, tracker conversion rate. And if we're using Google Analytics, we will get the number of users, the total number of new users, the number of sessions, the bounces, session duration. And especially if you're working with traffic arbitrage, like monetizing your sales pages or blog articles with AdSense, you can quickly see AdSense performance here. All you need to do is to connect your AdSense account with Google Analytics. Then you get the AdSense performance over here, when we see the AdSense revenue, AdSense impressions as counted by AdSense, AdSense ad views, AdSense ads clicked, and AdSense page impressions. Then we have goal values as pulled by Google Analytics. We have the earnings per view. We have the total number of entrances, page views, time on page, and so on. So you can get everything under a single dashboard, and you can quickly change the views of your dashboard. Let's say we don't want to see the average time on page, or maybe we don't want to see the unique page views and stuff like that. Maybe we want to move the EPV further up on our statistics, so we want to see the earnings per view on near the session duration. So basically, everything is customizable, and you can pretty much tailor it to your needs. When we go inside a specific campaign's data, by clicking on a campaign, we can see the same performance overview on the publisher level or site level. Let's say for this Taboola campaign, we have all these publishers, we get the CPC on the publisher level, and if you see here, we have some custom bids. We can sort by CPC. You can sort by CPC. You can sort by average CPC. You get the cost on the publisher level. You get the total number of conversions on the tracker revenue. So the whole end-to-end performance of the campaign is shown on the campaign level, on the widget level, on the content level as well. So here we have the performance of our ads, so we can easily view which of our ads are generating more revenue, which is getting more conversion, which one of them is getting more a better cost per acquisition and giving us higher ROI. Then we have the rules tab, where we can assign and remove any automatic rules from our campaigns. Before jumping into the details of the rules, I would like to go into a few manual features that we have on the widget and content level, like blocking widgets or unblocking widgets. So, for instance, if we are on the widgets page, we would like to block a specific amount of widgets manually, and we can filter the widgets by active only, and we sort them down by tracker ROI and get them quickly in front of our eyes. Like, I want to see what are the worst performers over here and quickly block them. So here, for instance, let's say we want to block these widgets. So we select multiple of them, and on bulk actions, we select deactivate, which will send the block action to Taboola. Even though it won't be reported, it will be sent to Taboola, so the widgets will be blocked right like at the same moment than when you send the comment. Another feature is to change the CPC. Let's say we have some widgets that have a custom bid, and we want to reset their bids to the campaign default bid because we have found some other new widgets that are performing better. And in that case, all we need to do is to select the widgets that have a custom bid. Over here, and on the bulk actions, reset bid to default. So this will set the bid to the campaign default bid, and then we can have more room to customize the bids on other profitable publishers that are promising to our campaign. Same manual actions are available for the contents besides the bid change. So you can easily pause or activate an ad. You can pause or activate multiple ads in bulk. You can add new contents to your campaigns. Let's say you want to add any new creative, but I will go into more details in a few minutes. So about the rules, I would like to start by the rules more because it is like the core functionality of the platform. So we have two options over here. You can either create a rule from scratch, and in terms of rules, you can select among block and unblock publishers, block and pause and activate campaigns, pause or activate contents or ads, change the campaign level bid, change the campaign budget, pause or activate targeted categories for rev content, or pause or activate sites for volume DSP or exchanges, pause and activate sections for Outbrain, pause or activate ad groups domains for Yahoo Gemini, or spots for Run Native, change targeted category bid on rev content, change content bid on MGAD, AdSkipper, and Outbrain. And for Outbrain, I want to emphasize that the change content bid is available only on their API, so you don't get this feature on their interface. And according to Outbrain's representatives, the content bid will win over the widget bid or section bid. So basically, if we're having a content or an ad which is giving us some promising results, and we want to get even more traffic for that content, we can easily increase its bid. So we fly on the content bid instead of the section or widget bid. You can change the widget coefficient or the section bid. You can change the exchange bids and stuff like that. So basically, you can change everything that you have on a traffic source using automatic rules instead of doing it manually. And imagine doing that on 100 simultaneously running campaigns, which would be an overkiller. Another option would be to use some ready-to-use templates, and in the ready-to-use templates we have a few of them, like block low click-through rate non-converting widgets, block high click-through rate landing page click-through rate converting widgets, block no click-through rate widgets, possible bot traffic, activate profitable widgets, block low CTR widgets. Especially those the low CTR widget is especially useful when buying traffic on CPM basis, because basically you're paying already for the impression, and whether you're getting a click or not, your budget is already wasted on that widget. So in that case, having such a rule would be quite helpful on saving your budgets, on not being ruined on low performing widgets. And when we click inside one of the rules, we can see its conditions as well as a brief description of what the rule will do. So let's get over a quick example. Let's say we want to block widgets for our campaigns working based on the last 14 days worth of data, and we would like to block any widget that has spent more than $10 or more or equal to $10. It has generated no landing page clicks because we're working on a funnel that has a landing page and the conversion cannot happen without having a landing page, and has no tracker conversions, which is less than 1, means 0, on all these campaigns. And we would like to run this rule every 10 minutes. So basically, instead of waiting for a conversion to happen, we have a previous step on our funnel that is landing page. So basically, we can start from there. So if we're getting, let's say, if we're optimizing based on clicks, we can say, like, if traffic source clicks are greater or equal to 100, and let's say we're paying 20 cents a click, it means that we're spending $20. If traffic source clicks are greater or equal to 100 and no landing page clicks and no conversions, we would like to block that, or we would like to block it on 50 clicks without waiting to spend way more on those widgets. We can depart our widget blocking rules, because we know that sometimes on some specific days, let's say on Monday from midnight till 12 or 11 o'clock, we don't have any good performing widgets, or we just get trash traffic. We would like to optimize on our widgets way more aggressively, and this means that this rule will run every 10 minutes on Monday from midnight till 10 a.m. and will block any widget which during the last 14 days has sent us 30 clicks or more without generating a single landing page click. Of course, this is just an example to give you a picture of how granular and how flexible the rules are in terms of creating them. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and you can select the campaigns over here. Like, you can remove a campaign from a specific rule. You can select another campaign here. So let's say we want to add this rule on this other Outbrain campaign or this other Taboola campaign. So once we click save, it will save the rule, and it will run every 10 minutes. So it will check the performance of the last 14 days if there are widgets or sites that match these conditions. Another rule example would be to unblock any profitable widget. Let's say we're running a campaign which is getting quite a lot of traffic, and because the network we are working with has had an issue with posting back the conversions right on time, we don't want to block any profitable widget. So basically what we need to do is create a simple rule, like based on the last 7 days, and tell the system, like, if the tracker ROI is greater than 0%, which means it's profitable, we would like to activate any blocked widgets that is profitable over this campaign, and the system will check it every 1 hour. So this way we don't waste, or we don't uh, lose any winning publisher or potential publishers, but we move on and still get traffic from that campaign. Another rule example would be to to pause a campaign, let's say on a daily basis, and let's go a bit more granular with this. Let's say the hour of the day, because we don't want, for a campaign which is running, let's say in New York, and we can select the time zone of our campaign here, and let's say we have a campaign running on New York time zone, and we don't want any campaign which by 12 p.m. till uh, midnight or 11:30. And here's the nice one. At 11:30, we would like to check if the ROI is less than 15% after spending $70. So instead of leaving a campaign wasting money just out of just because we didn't see the performance on time, we can pause it on a few selected hours, and we can have the system check it like every 30 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever is the best combination for you. Then we can move forward with pausing sections. For instance, for Outbrain, let's say we want to pause any sections that has sent traffic over the course of the last 30 days to our campaigns, and we want to block any sections that exceed our goal CPA. So let's say we have a running campaign which has been ran for some time already. We have optimized the first chunk of publishers, like we don't have any low CTR publishers to block, or we don't. We just have reached the limits of blocking the publishers, or the publishers that don't give us at least the minimum engagement or click-through rate on our landing pages. But we want to focus on improving our cost per acquisition. So let's say after a section or a widget, this rule can be applied on a widget level as well. If a widget has spent $25 and tracker conversions are greater than 1, with a CPA greater than $12, which is our goal CPA, we would like to block these widgets, or we would like to decrease the section of these widgets, or even lower the budget of a campaign. We can do the same on the campaign level in order to save our budgets and not chasing any campaign which exceeds, or any publisher or any section which exceeds our goal CPA. Now, for the CPA rule to work, you need to make sure that you have a tracker conversion condition, let's say greater than 1, because if we remove a tracker conversion condition and we say just if traffic source spent is greater or equal than $25 and the traffic source CPA is greater than $12, this rule won't catch the publishers that don't have a CPA. Because basically, to have a CPA, we need to have at least one conversion. If the publisher has already spent $25 but hasn't generated any conversion, or has spent $30 without no conversion, it means that it doesn't have a cost per acquisition metric yet available. So in that case, the rule will not be valid. So just make sure to add tracker conversion, a tracker conversion over here, to set it at least greater than 1, and make sure that you specify the values based on the goal CPA of your campaign. Another example would be to change the bids. Let's say we're running an Outbrain campaign, and we want, because we don't have this feature on the Outbrain, and we want to tweak the bids based on the ad performance. We want to say if the CTR is between 0.01 and 0.03%, we want to set the bid to 65% of our earnings per click. And here we're talking about uh, profitable widgets. Let's say we add another condition here, like tracker, uh, like conversions are greater than 1, and we focus with this rule on profitable widgets. Or if conversions are less than one, which means 0, we can decrease the bid gradually, and we can do it on dollar values. Let's say $0.001, or we can do that on a percentage value based on the current bid, based on the EPC, based on the traffic source EPC, tracker EPC, earnings per session as pulled by Google Analytics, or earnings per view as pulled by Google Analytics. So basically, we have quite a few options over here, like 6 metrics that we can play on. We can easily go with the current bid, like decrease the bid by 5% every 30 minutes to see how it goes. And for the minimum bid for Outbrain should be 0.03, and we set the maximum bid, like don't allow the bid to go above $0.9 in case we're working with a set bid too, because we don't want to get any crazy bid, like if we're having a set bid based on EPC, and we're having an EPC for a given moment like $25 on a specific publisher. We just tell the system to not go crazy and without all our budget by setting a bid of $20, which will outbid the whole network, and it can get out our budgets drained in a matter of seconds. So basically, we tell the system what is the maximum bid, and the bid will go only up to $1.2, and below down up to $0.03. We can have this type of rule applied on MGID as well, or AdSkipper, which are similar to their system. So it's pretty quick to go. Another rule would be to change the side bids. Let's say we're working with Taboola, and let's say we're doing a traffic arbitrage or a search arbitrage campaign. And for those cases, we know that we don't get the conversion data on time. Like it takes up to 24 hours, or maybe a little later, because you have to manually upload your campaigns data, your revenue. What you want to do is you want to optimize your site bids based on the last 3 days, excluding today, because you don't have any revenue for today. Like you want to, or maybe exclude today and yesterday, and optimize based on the last 7 days, which means optimizing on a 5-day window, and tell the system for every publisher that has spent, let's say, that have spent more or equal to $15 or $10, and the average CPC is around, let's say, greater or equal to 0.56, 26, until average CPC less or equal to 0.56, we would like to set the bid to 40% of the EPC, and make sure we get our the margin that we are seeking for. Now, obviously, we want to be careful with not setting any crazy limits here, like expecting to get 60% ROI just out of forcing the bids to get lower. But it would be safe to go, let's say, to 70 or 80%, and maximize to your campaigns, to your campaigns potential or publisher potential, to get more and more traffic in order to generate even more revenue. Another example would be like if uh, traffic source spent is, let's say, greater or equal to $10, and the EPC is between 0.5 and 0.5 and $1.5, then we can say that we would like to set the bid to 85%. We're seeking 15% margin on these publishers, but we know that these publishers have good volume, have good quality, and we want to get the most out of them. So as long as we're profitable, we can get even more traffic from those publishers and make sure that we still keep on getting traffic from them. Another feature I would like to talk is the smart list feature, which is basically a shared blacklist. Like if we're running multiple campaigns for the same geo, same vertical, same type of offer or conversion flow, then we would like to utilize our campaigns data. Like we don't want to put any data that we have collected during our campaigns spent on our previous weeks uh, without utilizing them. So what we do is we create a smart list, and the smart list basically will create a list of blacklisted publishers for each of the supported traffic sources. So let's say if we're running on MGAD and we want to block any widgets that we have already identified, then we can quickly paste the widgets here. So it will get the sub widget IDs, and we can add them here. We can specify automatic rules that will write to this list. Let's say we want to add to the list any publisher that sends 100 clicks on the traffic source, but no landing page clicks or conversions on our tracker, as well as we want to block any publisher which is low in the CTR and is not converting. Then we can select to apply this list on campaign 1 and campaign 2. So in this case, we already have spent, let's say, $50 on these widgets. We don't want to do the same again because we know these widgets don't perform. And we have learned it from campaign 1. And once we start campaign 2 and add it to the list, the widgets will be blocked on this campaign as well. Another easier way to get the widgets is to go to the widgets list. Let's say view only block widgets from one campaign. And once we get to the block widgets, we can easily select these widgets, create smart list from here. Let's say this is Taboola US solar campaign. We can add the automatic rules over here that we think or we help us on creating the list, and we share the list among these other two or three campaigns in order to avoid losing any more money on these campaigns from these publishers, because we have tested them out, we know how they perform, and we don't want to keep them running. And here in the smart list, you can have as many lists as you wish to. Our suggestion is to create as many lists as granular as you can, like targeted device, offer conversion flow, targeted country, and if on some traffic sources you have like an option to get to specify, like on POPs, Wi-Fi or carrier traffic, then you can do that as well. So you can get as granular as you can, and you have more reliable data to optimize your campaigns. Another feature I would like to go through, and this is related to the content creation and campaign creation. Let's say we want to push a new campaign on Taboola or on Outbrain, and we want to create, let's say, three variations: one variation for desktop, one variation or one campaign for tablet, and another campaign for mobile. Or either way, we may want to play with the bids, like we want to launch two or more campaigns with the same targeting but with different bids, and see how the performance goes. To do that, we don't need to log in on any of the traffic sources. Let's say we do it, we're doing the campaign for Outbrain. We select the Outbrain account. We type the campaign name, and this is for desktop only. We set the on-air time, the bid, and for desktop, we're starting, let's say, with $0.08. We're giving it $100 of budget. We're specifying the location to be United Kingdom, and we're selecting only desktop traffic here. We don't want to get traffic from, let's say, Opera browser or UC browser. We can paste the tracking code here. Let's for the sections like campaign ID, like the section name equals section, and add name equals add ID. Of course, these are not the correct tokens for Outbrain, but the idea is pretty clear. Instead of setting the tracking code on your ad level, you can do it on the campaign level. So whenever you have an issue with the tracking, you don't need to resend your campaigns for reapproval, and you can fix it on the campaign level without losing any traffic. The next step is to create our contents, and let's say we're adding here our tracker link, and we want to send all visitors to campaign one. We enter the demo headline, and here we're pasting up to 5 headlines: headline demo 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can enter the CPC on the ad level if we want to. It's totally optional. Then we can click on the drag and drop here box to open our ads, and let's say we want to put all these ads over here, and the system will automatically generate all possible image and headline combinations for our ads and headlines. We can easily crop our ads to be focused on the part that we want to, or we think that is more appealing. Let's say this lady here, which is enjoying the beer, we need her to be more in focus without the legs or with the legs, because it looks disgusting and it could be nice for the click-through rate. Maybe we want this guy more over here, and in this case we don't want to have ads with this image and demo headline 3 and 4. We don't want this other one. So basically you can upload up to 20 images over here and make a combination of 5 headlines, which totals a total of 100 ads in one flow. Next, we move to the next step where we create our ad variations. And before we move forward with the variation, we can add any existing rules that we have on our account. So let's say we want to block low click-through rate creatives. We want to block high click-through rate non-converting publishers, or normal click-through rate non-converting publishers, low click-through rate non-converting publishers as well. And here we want to add another variation, and here this is for tablet only. And we deselect desktop and mobile, and we set another bid over here by telling it to $1.12. We can leave the campaign link as is, or we can point it to a separate campaign, which is already created on our tracker. Let's say we point it to campaign 2, and we add another variation which will be copied along with the rules, as you saw in the first case, and we target only mobile here, and we can set a different bid. Let's say we're starting from 23 cents, and we're sending this campaign to a different campaign link on our tracker, but we want another campaign just for mobile, and we want to try a slightly higher bid, let's say 45 cents, and move forward. So in one flow, we created, let's say, 20. We used 20 images, 5 headlines, which totals 100 ads. for 4 campaigns, which totals 400 ads on these campaigns, and this is a huge time saver. We had some cases where we pushed 65 campaigns on Outbrain in less than 20 minutes. So it's totally crazy. It's nothing like you can do on Outbrain. It's totally doable. Once you click done, the campaign will be pushed to Outbrain, and you will get the queue or the status of the campaigns in the queue list, and see if it has finished or if it is still pending. If a problem happened, like something was wrong, maybe the creatives were not according to the requirements of the network. Maybe the headline was too long, or anything like that. So you get all the details over here. The same goes for creating any ads for existing campaigns. And for any change that you make in the system, like pausing a widget, pausing an ad, changing a bid, or whatever change that you do, all the changes get logged in the system, and in the system activity, you can see every changes that were made either manually or automatically using rules, sorted by affected items. What was the change? What was the campaign name? What was the description of the change? Like, let's say we changed we tried to block widgets here, but we have reached the maximum limit of 1,500 sites. And in the details, even though it's failed, we know we can see what widgets didn't go through because of the limit, and we see that these widgets were not successfully blocked due to the limit, or these widgets were blocked, or these widgets got different bids. And another, so basically you cannot avoid anything. So you get everything plain as it is on our server logs right to the system. So there's no hide here. Another feature is the reporting, and I find this quite useful, because if we're targeting, let's say, if we're running campaigns on US and targeting, let's say, for a long time US only, and we're working with many traffic sources for many publishers, we kind of have the data to start or to test a new product on a whitelist. So let's say on Taboola, we want to see what went on our campaigns on the widget level over the course of the last 30 days, and we want to include all the campaigns here and get an aggregated report. And this is quite helpful, because by the end of the day, you get all the data that you have spent already money on. You see what is their performance, like CTR, average CPC, what is the cost, what is the total number of conversions, what is the revenue, what is the ROI. So you know what to expect from these publishers, and you know how to bid on them. So basically what we can do is just export this on an Excel. Like here, I'm opening the Excel over here, and I just want to focus only on profitable publishers. So it's pretty straightforward. I created filters over here, and I want the ROI to be greater than 5%, let's say. So I get all these publishers, I contact my account manager, and I tell them, okay, I want one whitelist campaign only from these publishers. I know what I'm bidding, because I want to bid like 28 cents or 27 cents right from the start, and I want to focus on those publishers only. So this is quite useful. Obviously, the tracker data, in case there are some delays, can be pulled manually by you whenever needed. By using the manual stats update. All you need to do is select the tracker, select the traffic source, select the days for which you want to pull the data, and this is quite useful for those traffic arbitrage campaigns, where you upload the data first with zero revenue, just keeping track of conversions, Then after uploading the revenue data on your tracker, you just refresh the tracker data with the revenue and get accurate revenue and spend or ROI on the dashboard. Simply select the campaign down here, or maybe I haven't selected that here. Quick update, and the system will do it in about 10 to 15 minutes. If you're working with teams, we have an interesting feature. Maybe some of our users that are currently using the platform are not using it uh, quite as it should be used. So basically, if you are a team of, let's say, 3 or 5 media buyers, you would like to get notifications on your email accounts all together. So what you do is just add an email account, and let's say I'm adding my email over here, the theoptimizer.io. And whenever a rule is being executed, whenever there is an issue with my account, or whenever we have a smart notification like some tokens are missing or some setup doesn't look good and may affect the performance of your campaign, you get the notification on all these email accounts. So basically, no one can justify it uh, like I didn't know that I didn't have the tokens and we didn't track the performance of the campaign. The other possible way is to create a Slack channel, and you can add up to 5 Slack channels over here. So your media buying team can follow up on every actions, on every changes that the campaigns have received using automatic rules from a Slack channel or even on Telegram. So you can add up to 5 accounts on all your on your accounts and manage everything from even on the fly. And we have the interface honestly is quite responsive. Let's say we are on the run and we want to change some settings on the campaigns. Let's say we have a rev content campaign for which we want to change the settings, and we can do it on our mobile phone. So basically, we get everything that we need over here. So we just need to up the budget or change the bid or whatever we need to do, because we want to do it manually. We can do it on the fly. So it's pretty straightforward. I don't know if I missed anything. Like obviously, special cases are mostly specific to some campaigns, and it's pretty hard to give general suggestions about the optimization rules, because as you already know, it depends on the landing page, it depends on the creative, it depends on the offer as well. So in order to give a proper suggestion or a proper understanding, we need to see at the data and be able to hopefully give some suggestions. But mostly it's a matter of translating your manual actions into automatic rules. Like that is the main thing. I see a few questions here, and if you guys have any other, just make sure to post them on the comments below. So we have one question from Elio, which asks if the settings of the table views will be saved whenever we log back into our platform. Yes, it will be saved, but in case you're working on a private browser, like opening Chrome in private or Firefox in private, and you save the changes while in private, it won't be saved. But if you're just using the browser normally, where you save where the browser saves the cookies, you get the settings the same as they were the last time you were on the browser. Then Marcel asks about geo-specific rules. Now this is a tricky one, because the click-through rate and the budgets and everything can change from one geo to another. Of course, you cannot have the same rules that you use for US applied on a Thailand campaign or on a campaign running in India. So obviously you need to create to fine tune the rules according to your geo. and according to your CPC and click-through rate. Like it is normal for the click-through rate to change from one country to another. So if there is any specific case that you would like to go through, let's get on a chat on our Skype support, or submit a ticket on our support page or support email, support at theoptimizer.io, and we will get back to you as soon as possible by giving a possible suggestion. Valentinas is asking about the tracker campaign creation. Yes, unfortunately, this is not possible at the moment because many trackers have different setups. You have like you have to know what is the offer. You have to know what is the payout, what is the flow that you want to create. So basically, it's more complex. Maybe in the future we will include such a period, but for the moment it's not available. Thank you, Marcel. Yeah. We have another question. Some campaigns perform better during certain hours of the day. Can I use rules to lower or higher the target ROI during this period? Yes, it's basically, let's say if you have a campaign, let's go to the rules, and you want to drop the bid on a specific hour. Let's say you want to change the campaign bid from let's say on a daily basis. We specify the hour, and we want from Monday to Friday. We want to have bids from past midnight or past 1 a.m. past 1 a.m. until 11 a.m. in the morning. We want to have a specific bid. Let's say we want to have a lower bid, like 25 cents. We can do that, and then we create another rule with the opposite settings of our scheduler, to have the bid set to 45 cents back again. So it's something pretty doable. Just create two rules and you're done with it, and the system will change the bids accordingly. Joe, do you have recommend settings up? Do you recommend setting up unique rules for each campaign based on CPA, or general rules based on ROI? Well, I would say it's safer to go based on CPA for the campaign, because for different campaigns we have different conversion rate, we have different cost per acquisition. Maybe the product or the funnel is not well optimized on the offer side. Like you have a higher barrier offer, maybe, just as an example, comparing a cash on delivery offer or with a straight CC submit offer, straight sales CC submit offer. Obviously, the CC submit offer is way more difficult to convert compared to the cash on delivery, because the person has to take out his credit card, enter their details, and make the payment. While on the cash on delivery, you have to wait for the confirmation to happen, like you received the order, but it's still on hold until the call center processes it, or the buyer, the visitor, buys the product or accepts the products on the delivery. I don't know if there is any other questions, or maybe I went a bit too long with the demo. Just try to get over everything possible. I don't know if you guys have any other question, or maybe even after this session gets finished, you can post your questions in the comments down below, and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Hopefully, I was clear enough to tell you to show you the values of the platform, and we have added quite a lot of new features recently. And for volume users which are using custom conversions, we just recently announced or released the custom conversions like yesterday. It was push out. So if you're optimizing for lead or sale, or uh, for campaigns like cash on delivery that are on hold, we have the order is on hold, then the sale happened, then it is possible to do those kind of optimizations. Or whether if you're gathering push subscribers or whatever you want to do, just select the custom conversion and optimize based on that conversion. Thank you guys for the kind words. I hope we will be able to answer more of your questions in the upcoming days. Feel free to reach out on Skype, on our support system, or whenever you feel comfortable, even on Facebook. If you have a specific case that you would like to go through together, we can do it and take it from there and help you scale your campaigns and hopefully generate way more revenue than you are now. Thank you for your time, guys, and have a great evening.